Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Okay. Lord Buddha, a Vedic paradigm. Mohaya, the Sura Dvisha, means those who are envious of the devotees, atheist class of men just to cheat them. But when Krishna or God cheats, that is also for the welfare of the people. So he wanted to stop animal killing. By the propagation of Lord Buddha, whole India became Buddhist, and Shankaracharya wanted to establish Vedas again. So they were temporary necessities for a certain reason. Because people were addicted so much in violence and killing the animals, therefore Buddha philosophy was needed. Again, this Buddha philosophy was driven out. The Shankarya impersonal philosophy was established. Buddha the Prince Lord Buddha's name is Buddha. From this Bodha, he has understood everything. He was also a prince, not ordinary man. He was always enjoying with beautiful women. That is the palace pleasure accustomed in Oriental countries. That in the palace there are many beautiful girls. They're always dancing and giving pleasure to the kings and the prince. He never came out of the palace, and when he came out, he saw one old man with a stick, with great difficulty walking. So he inquired his servants, "What is this? This is old man. Everyone has to become like this." That was the inspiration of understanding. Why he should be like that? Why one should become old man? Why he should walk on sticks? So these inquiries made him Buddha. Lord Buddha by meditation. That is his pastime. Is one to understand by nature, study why this man is diseased, why this man is old, why this man is suffering. Then Bodhayanta Para he understood that I am not living comfortably. This understanding, and we can understand that this is life, this material life, is not at all comfortable. It is full of misery. That is called Buddha life, intelligent. Buddha means intelligent. And if we are thinking that I am living very comfortably, I am very happy, that is called Maya, illusion. Actually, we are always in miserable condition. He gave up everything and began to meditate. Nine principles of Buddhism. Along the Buddhist path, there are nine principles. One, the creation is eternal. Therefore, there is no need to creator. This causes manifestation fall. Am is the truth. There is a repetitive birth and death. 5. Lord Buddha is the only source of understanding the truth. 6. The principle of nirvana, or annihilation, is the ultimate goal. 7. The philosophy of Buddha is the only philosophical path. 8. The Vedas are compiled by human beings. 9. Pious activities showing mercy to may be even more expert in the art of argument. Because there is so much word jugglery in logic, one can it is seen here that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhist philosophy by argument. Those who are preachers in ISKCON will certainly meet many people who believe in intellectual arguments. Most of these people do not believe in the authority of the Vedas. Nevertheless, they accept intellectual speculation and argument. Therefore, the preachers of Krishna consciousness should be prepared to defeat others by argument, just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. In this verse, it is clearly said, Tarke Kandila Prabhu, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put forward such a strong argument that they could not counter him to establish their cult. Their first principle is that the creation is always existing. But if this is the case, there can be no theory of annihilation. The Buddhists maintain that annihilation or dissolution is the highest truth. If creation is eternally existing, there is no question of dissolution or annihilation. This argument is not very strong because by practical experience, we see that material things have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The ultimate aim of the Buddhist philosophy is to dissolve. This is proposed because the has a being. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation is also Brahman, or the Supreme Spirit. Matter is not a subordinate spirit, but is actually created on the basis of spirit. When the spirit soul enters the womb of a mother, the body is created by material ingredients supplied by the mother. Everything is created in the material world, and consequently, there must be a creator who is the Supreme Spirit and who is distinct from matter. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the material energy is inferior and that the spiritual energy is the living entity. Both inferior and superior energies belong to a supreme person. The Buddhists argue that the world is false, but this is not valid. The world is temporary, but it is not false. As long as we have the body, we must suffer the pleasures and pains of the body, even though we are not the body. We may not take these pleasures and pains very seriously, but they are factual nonetheless. We cannot actually say that they are false. If the bodily pains and pleasures were false, the creation would be false also, and consequently no one would take very much interest in it. The conclusion is that the material creation is not false imaginary, but it is temporary. The Buddhists maintain that the principle I am is the ultimate truth, but this excludes the individuality of I and you. If there is no I and you, or individuality, there is no possibility of argument. The Buddhist philosophy depends on argument, but there can be no argument if one According to the Buddhists' fifth principle, Lord Buddha is the only source for the attainment of knowledge. We cannot accept this. For Lord Buddha rejected the principles of Vedic knowledge. One must accept a principle of standard knowledge because one cannot attain the absolute truth simply by intellectual speculation. If everyone is an authority, or if everyone accepts his own intelligence as the ultimate criterion, as is presently fashionable, the scriptures will be interpreted in many different ways, and everyone will claim that his own philosophy is supreme. This has become a very great problem, and everyone is interpreting scripture in his own way and setting up his own basis of authority. Yatamata tatapata. Now, everybody and anybody is trying to establish his own theory as the ultimate truth. The Buddhists theorize that annihilation or nirvana is the ultimate goal. Annihilation applies to the body, but the spirit soul transmigrates from one body to another. If this were not the case, how can so many multifarious bodies come into existence? If the next birth is a fact, the next bodily form is also a fact. As soon as we accept a material body, we must accept the fact that the body will be annihilated and that we will have to accept another body. If all material bodies are doomed to annihilation, we must obtain a non-material body or spiritual body. If we wish the next birth to be anything but false. How the spiritual body is attained is explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvataha yaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. This is the highest perfection. To give up one material body, accept another, but to return home, back to Godhead. It is not that perfection means one's existence becomes void or zero. Existence continues, but if we positively want to annihilate the material body, we have to accept the spiritual body. Otherwise, there can be no eternality for the soul. We cannot accept the theory that the Buddhist philosophy is the only way, for there are so many defects in that philosophy. A perfect philosophy is one that has no defects, and that is Vedanta philosophy. No one can point out any defects in Vedanta philosophy, and therefore we can conclude that Vedanta is the supreme philosophical way of understanding the truth. According to the Buddhist cult, the Vedas are compiled by ordinary human beings. If this were the case, they would not be authoritative. From the Vedic literature, we understand that shortly after the creation, Lord Brahma was instructed in the Vedas. It is not that the Vedas were created by Brahma, although Brahma is the original person in the universe. If Brahma did not create the Vedas, but he is acknowledged as the first human being, wherefrom did Vedic knowledge come to Brahma? Obviously, the Vedas did not come from an ordinary person born in this material world. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, Tane Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye, after the creation, the Supreme Person imparted Vedic knowledge within the heart of Brahma. There was no person in the beginning of the creation other than Brahma, yet he did not compile the Vedas. For the conclusion that the Vedas were not compiled by any created being. Vedic knowledge was given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created this material world. This is also accepted by Sankaracharya, although he's not a Vaishnava. It is stated that mercy is one of the qualities of a Buddhist, but mercy is a relative thing. We show our mercy to a subordinate or to one who is suffering more than ourselves. However, if there is a superior person present, the superior person cannot be the object of our mercy. Rather, we are the objects for the mercy of the superior person. Therefore, showing compassion and mercy is a relative activity. It is not the absolute truth. Apart from this, we must know what actual mercy is. To give a sick man something forbidden for him to eat is not mercy. Rather, it is cruelty. Unless we know what mercy really is, we may create an undesirable situation. If we wish to show real mercy, we will preach Krishna consciousness in order to revive the lost consciousness of human beings, humanity's original consciousness. Since the Buddhist philosophy does not admit the existence of the spirit soul, the so-called mercy of the Buddhists is defective. Chapter 50, Lord Rama.
Now, can you hear me?
Activities of Lord Ramachandra is described in a book which is called Ramayana, written by Miki Muni. Being prayed for by the demigods, the supreme personality of Godhead, Yahweh Truth himself, appeared with his expansions of the expansion. Their names were Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. These celebrations thus appeared in the son of Maharaj Desharata. There is a play in Ayu in northern India. The day of the moon Ramachandra appeared as the elder of the king of Ayodhya. Last times Lord Chandra was the baby elephant. He is where Moshita to choose her husband in the midst of the heroes of this world, belonging to Lord. This pool was so heavy, it was carried by 300. Lord Chandra bent and broke it in the middle, just as a baby elephant breaks a stick of sugarcane. Thus the Lord achieved the hand of their Shita, who was equally with qualities of forty, behavior, age, and nature.